My wife's Google account caught my attention and Hi there, welcome to Reddit Goat channel. Today we are going to have another unbelievable cheating story. But before we get started, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you won't miss any of our daily cheating stories. I was using my wife's laptop, with her permission, to look for jobs as my previous employer decided he didn't need to pay me. Her homepage is Google, and I usually don't pay any attention to it, but today her email summaries caught my eye. I usually give her all the privacy she wants even though she'll take my phone and answer texts and calls without even asking. She usually hates when I touch her phone or computer, and now I think I know why. Most of the email summaries on the homepage were from a guy she knows from work and were sexual in nature. I was flabbergasted. I know our relationship is a bit strained because we just got married 3 months ago and I lost my job, but I didn't expect this. I had to know what was going on, so I read her emails. They include cybersex and picture swapping. The pictures aren't nude, just suggestive. Very suggestive. They also talk about figuring out a way to get together without me and his wife being there. What should I do? Should I confront her and admit how I found out? Is this not a big deal? She's gone to work for the day. I was able to fake grogginess/being asleep when she was getting ready and leaving, but she wants to have lunch together. I think I'm going to find something that needs to be done around that time. I need a bit of time to vent with a friend to figure this out. I hadn't considered letting someone hold the guns. I'm going to do that in an hour or two after I go work out to burn some steam. Also going to take her handgun and let someone else hold it. I have copies of all the emails now, and I've removed all of the photos she had of me that could come back to haunt me. We live in Texas, it's a non-alimony state, and she can't take my car because of the way the law is written here. Likewise, I can't ask for her car or alimony from her. The PS3 will be sold in a few hours to a friend who broke it a few weeks ago. Those really are my only possessions that matter, no dogs or cats and no kids. We went to high school together, but didn't talk much. We really began a friendship about 4 years ago and began dating exclusively 2 years ago. I am at least somewhat whipped. As for her being allowed to read my texts and whatnot, I really didn't mind. I let my friends answer my phone for me when I'm doing stuff or chat on my AIM name. It's never bothered me. We do share our passwords, but I'll be changing mine. I have a place to stay, actually several, and I have great friends. Sometime after I confront her, I'll be going to talk with the lawyer my mom works for to find out how I should proceed. I want this to be as easy as possible. I confronted her last night. I told her over the phone when she got off work we had a problem we needed to talk about, but I wasn't up to it at the moment. I honestly don't know what to think anymore. She came clean, but doesn't think it was a big deal. She says she knows now that it was a big deal to me, but I never actually received an apology or anything like that. We are on speaking terms. Her family hates me now though. This is really hard for me to do. I'm a very closed-off person, and she is the first person I have really and truly trusted to share all of my feelings with. Also, I am extremely unhappy with her dad. I turned my phone off after I spoke with her, because I needed some alone time, so he left 4 voicemails talking about how I have no balls and I need to man up. He then showed up at my family's house trying to find me. I shared what had happened with my mom because I needed comforting, so I have no problem with her sharing it with her family. I do have a problem with her family becoming directly involved. I need more time to think about this. I'll try and update as soon as I come to a final decision. Here's the second story. My wife and best friend hanging out quite often and I. First, a little bit of background. I love this lady. I have spent 6 long years of my life with her, and our lives are deeply intertwined. I only had one other real girlfriend before coming across my future wife. We dated for 3 years, got married, and have been married for about 2.5 years. We have our ups and downs, our fights and romantic nights, just as any long-term couple has. Recently things have been a little worse, but life is stressful. We had to move back in with her mother due to financial reasons because it worked for both the mother and us. Recently, she has been hanging out with a mutual friend of ours quite often. She regularly goes and sees him while I am unavailable at work. They do seemingly normal things like watch TV, drink, go to the beach, etc. The frequency of these visits has increased exponentially over the last few months, to at least once a week if not more. My friend had become increasingly distant and unavailable to hang out if I was involved. I was becoming more suspicious with every rendezvous. Last Friday, after an unrelated fight with my drunk wife, I had the overwhelming urge to look at her phone. This isn't normal, and usually, I respect her privacy. My suspicions got the best of me, and I decided to look. I pulled up the text message history with the guy. What I found killed me. Detailed, graphic messages, dating back at least 2 months. My stomach sank, I nearly became physically ill, I felt the blood rush from my face and became faint. There were messages referencing his dick in her mouth, her saying how he makes her insatiable, and in her words we could fuck, in response to what could we do. I was stunned. I couldn't process it. It didn't make sense. My mind was spinning. I felt more emotion in those few minutes than I ever have before. Disgust, betrayal, rage, regret, fear, and life-shattering sadness. How could my precious wife do this to me? Here I am picturing my sweet lady being fucked by this asshole, who had been my friend since before I had even met my wife. How could he betray our friendship like that? I can't say I didn't contemplate loading the gun at that point. If not for them, for me. I was destroyed, a sobbing wreck of a man, collapsed in bed next to his drunkenly passed out whore wife. I can't forgive her. I made up my mind right then and there, this is absolutely unforgivable. I have to get out. I have to leave and be on my own. I don't have any money saved up, I don't have my own car. I barely own much of anything at all. I decided not to tell her that I know yet, so I have time to prepare myself for solo living. Thanks to the support of my few friends, I was able to find a place to move in. I have another friend with a car I can buy. I'm getting my ducks in a row to drop a bomb on the whore and get the fuck away. This brings you up to date. As it stands right now, I plan to pack and move all of my things, while she's away at work tomorrow. I have to pick her up from work at the end of the day. I'll bring her home, she will see all my stuff gone, and the final argument will begin. I don't know exactly what I am going to say, but with as much as I have to say, it will come easily. Here are some of the best comments from our community. Why are you going to pick her up from work and drive her home? Why are you going to put yourself in a situation to either hear sobbing apologies, or hurtful put-downs, when neither is going to make you feel better or change your mind? Just leave. Go. She is a big girl, she can find her own way home to her empty house. Think of her as a scab. Scab sits there, on top of a wound. If you pick at it, not only will you bleed again, but the scar will be worse. If you ignore it, it will go away, leaving what has been healed. First of all, I really feel your pain. A very similar thing happened to my marriage about 3 years ago, except it wasn't a close friend of mine, it was just some guy. It started off innocent, she started acting shadier, and after a few months of suspicion, I finally put spyware on her computer and saw the same heart-wrenching graphic conversations you saw, laid out in my messages. The biggest piece of advice I can give you is this: no matter how much she begs, no matter how much she tells you she has seen the light, no matter how much she tells you that she made a huge mistake and wants to make it up to you, do not go back to her. I fell for it. I moved back in after leaving for almost 6 months. I even adopted her daughter a little over a year later. Things were good for about a year. Then the shadiness began again. The same stories and excuses as before, but with a new guy this time. We're just good friends. He's like a brother to me. I could never be attracted to him, we just like to hang out. And I found out a few months ago that she's fucking him. We filed for divorce a month ago. Women like this are addicted to Mr. New and exciting. They have no control over their impulses, and the idea of delayed gratification is completely foreign. Be glad you don't have kids, man. Get away from her and stay away from her. Good luck. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.